On the other side of the veil here. Anyway, I guess we're starting again, kids. We started earlier, for all of those who are listening, in the wrong room.
No, that was an introduction.
That was.
Okay.
I know we were just having a little bit of a different kind of experience in the other room. It's a little bit more intimate, but
We can still make it intimate.
we'll
It's still very
make it
small here.
intimate. Yes, it is. So
All right, so let's get started again.
we were talking about channeling. So I think from the direction that we sense that maybe you want to go, we're going to talk still about masculine and feminine energy and the blending and that balancing, as well as channeling.
Okay. So the balancing of both masculine and feminine energies, we all have that inside of us. It's a part of who we are. But when we start to realize that we become balanced within both these energies, it all comes to be one thing. It's always inside of you. The energy is always here. The masculine is here, the feminine is here, and you have to find a way to balance it. So for me, the way I balance my energies is that I'll do yoga and I'll also do some weightlifting. I balance both one masculine and one feminine. I do kung fu and I love cooking.
But you're talking about the physical.
That's the physical.
This is the physical 3D realm, and we're going to take you beyond that, right?
You have to start out here in this 3D realm to balance these energies first, because this is what we are. We're in the earth realm. We have to physically participate here.
In this realm. However, we're really not physical at all. We're spirit. So from the perspective of being spirit, there really is no masculine and there is no feminine. There just is.
So when the beings will come through, they'll say who they are. I am Yeshua, or I am Miriam of Magdalene. But in truth, it's not Yeshua or the Jesus that you once knew. It's the soul that still exists. Miriam is the soul that once existed. But it will manifest itself through us and through all of you in its own unique way. That's you have to remember.
Yeah, and for the woman who was, I lost who it was, who was asking about channeling. Is she still in the room? There she is. So essentially, do you want to talk a little bit how it works or how it connects?
Yes. I have no idea. If I were to tell you that I know exactly how it works, I'd be lying to you. I don't think there's anybody that can tell you exactly how it works. I only know how I can tap into it. In order to tap into it, it's like a radio station that you have to get a frequency, because we're made of frequencies. You have to tune into it. And you tune into it by having the intention. And you focus on that intention, and then you start feeling it coming through you.
And a lot of times people will feel like a guide is coming through and speaking to them. And, in truth, really, the guides that come through, because it's always collective, it's always more than one. But a lot of times in our human plane, we like to think of a guide that we're working with as singular. But the soul is multidimensional in nature, and so it's always they, right? That's a really important thing to think about. It's always they. So even when Anthony, he's a full embodied channel of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, and so even when Anthony brings through the energy of Yeshua, sometimes you'll hear oscillating back and forth. They'll say I or they back and forth.
Or we.
Or we. Yeah, so that's just something to pay attention to. If you hear that, it's not a mistake. Yeah.
One important thing is when you do channel, and when it starts happening to you, hold your ground, be grounded all the time. Be grounded in who you are. Don't be afraid. You're always connected to Source, to God. Whatever that is for you, you're always connected. You're never disconnected. And Source is always a part of you. It never goes away.
Because we are Source. We're not separate from Source.
In the end, who are you really channeling? Who do you think you're really channeling in the end?
Yourself?
Yes. you're channeling your soul. You're channeling your higher self in the end.
Which is connected to everything. So when you're picking up a frequency from the radio dial on the channel, it's the Yeshua frequency or the Isis or the Durga or, you know, whatever energy that you actually want to work with. We always say that we like to have, you know, people start with one energy before they go out and work with others so that you actually really understand the energy and how it feels. And once you understand that, you're going to start to understand the difference between other energies that come in. But when the doors open up and you first start channeling, it's literally like an open hotel sign. Vacancy, you know, my spirit's open, everybody's welcome, right? And this is what it was like when he first started opening up. It was literally like this open vacancy. And so we would walk into restaurants and someone's deceased aunt would come through and want to, you know, give a message to the waitress, you know, this is not appropriate. So that was like, you know, the early days where he was just this wide open portal and everything was coming in, almost like a gush of water.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was like.
So that's the thing, that when you're starting the channel, you're going to be open. And that's why you want to work with somebody, a teacher, to help you understand what the process that you're going through.
And what are the frequencies that you're working with?
Right. So this has been over 10 years now in the making. So what you're going to see is something that's very smooth and continuous, but it wasn't always like that. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of time and a lot of dedication to it.
Yeah. And you know, the truth is we've channeled a lot of different energies, and now we're primarily working with Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, and we were surprised at that. And there's a couple people in the room who've been in our programs for a really long time, and Jeff in particular, a very long time, right? And you knew that in the beginning it was gods and goddesses and all these different energies. And so why Mary Magdalene and Yeshua now, right? And I think it's our souls were calling forth those frequencies as a way to work together, masculine and feminine, to work together to demonstrate that to others. That's our feeling at this point of why that's happened, because it's not like we said, Magdalene, pick me. You know, it wasn't like that at all. We didn't even know who Mary Magdalene was, really, like before 7 years ago, until she showed up in our living room.
Remember, just because you can channel everything doesn't mean you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Find it in yourself what feels really comfortable and what you resonate with.
Yeah.
You don't have to channel the universe.
Yeah, resonance is the big key word here. What do you resonate with? What do you feel called to? If you're being called to Egypt, there's maybe a reason why, right? I know she's laughing because that's like a big part of her history. So, you know, we don't know why, but we want to pay attention to those intuitive clues, because what they're doing is they're unlocking things in our auric field for us to pay attention to and learn from. And ultimately, open in the layers, right? The layers start to peel back, and then suddenly the energy you're supposed to be working with just aligns itself. It's like it locks in, and it's like you're home, right? You just feel like you're home.
Any questions right now? Yes.
Are you dealing with the frequencies? Are you dealing at alpha, beta, or theta, or lower frequencies, or higher frequencies, or what?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
What frequencies are we dealing with? I would say when I go into channel, I'm going into a delta, into a delta state wavelength of, you'll hear my breathing.
Everything slows down.
So you're working through the chakras?
Yes, working through the chakras, meridians, things of that nature. Everything is coming through. Physical manifestations start to occur. Ringing in my ears. Do you have ringing in your ears?
Shaking.
Do you start to shake a little bit? These are some of the physical manifestations. Do you start getting goosebumps in the back of your head and going up your neck?
Does your body temperature change? That's another one.
These are the physical manifestations that you have to be aware of when you start doing spiritual work. What's happening? The subtleties.
Yeah.
Ask for it. Which clair do you want to open? Is it your clair cognizance of knowing, clair tendency, touching something, clear vision, buoyancy, audition? These are the things that will start happening to you. Beings will start coming to you in your third eye, and you'll see them coming to you. It's never ending. The journey never ends. It's constantly changing. Any other questions? Yes?
One more.
One more?
How do you get grounded and prepare yourself first?
Oh, great.
She helped me with that.
That's
She's my grounding cord.
Yeah, and that's
literally.
one of the reasons we really love, I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things that we love to talk about. The multidimensional soul is my favorite, but the masculine and feminine piece of it, I think that's, it's kind of what makes us unique in a sense, right? I mean, there are other couples who channel together, but there's not that many, actually. And when he first started opening, because he's full embodied, he would like be on the ground and his whole body was shaking. And I was literally carrying some of the energy, but I didn't realize it. Early on, I had no idea what was going on as he was opening up. So how they explained, at least in our case, the energy works through my crown chakra first into Anthony, and it balances in this beautiful infinity 8 back and forth. That's kind of how our guides explain it to us. But how do you ground and prepare for it if you're not a couple that is doing this work together? I mean, there's a lot of really effective ways to ground. One of the things that
I do exercise.
Yeah, well, Tai Chi in particular, Tai Chi and Kung Fu.
My Kung Fu is grounding. My
Yeah.
lifting weights for me is very grounding. I can feel the ground, the heaviness. I love cooking. Cooking is grounding for me.
Yeah, you have to figure out what's going to be grounding for you. For me, it's like getting out in the water, like, textures, being in the soil, being in Gaia, being in the earth, gardening, that kind of thing. So, there's a lot, I mean, we could spend like a whole thing on that because there's grounding foods, right? There's grounding exercises, there's breathing things that you can do. There's music, different frequency music that you can listen to that's really going to ground
Yoga
you.
can be very grounding as well, doing those
Yeah.
exercises, the asana practice.
Yeah, but it's
That can be
determining what it is for you
Right.
and then putting it into daily practice.
Okay. Let me think here.
So do you want to bring the energies through, or
Yeah.
should we talk about anything else
Is there anything else you'd like to speak about before the, yes?
before the guides come?
I just have a question that maybe just a matter of semantics, but when you talk about channeling, is that basically the same as being a medium, how people refer to themselves as mediums?
That's a great question, actually, a really great question, because our booth is right next to a medium. And we also have a podcast, by the way, where we interview people who are bridging science and spirituality. And we just interviewed Mark Anthony, who's a very well-known medium. And, for someone like Mark and really the guy next to us, right, they're channeling the deceased. That's what they're focusing on, is deceased relatives and loved ones, and they're bringing forth their souls for communicating messages of healing. And so we can do that. It's just not, our guides will say it's not your prime purpose to do that. So, but it'll happen. I mean, it will certainly happen. We'll be in a session with someone and, the guides, we're working with the Ascended Masters, or we might be working with some other guides, and then suddenly their deceased grandmother might come through. So it does happen, but it's really the soul's calling it to happen. And if it's not for the highest good, it won't come through.
I think of channeling as
they're related. They're
they're very related.
cousins. They're
It's-
cousins.
It's like something is taking hold of your auric field. It's energizing it, and your entire body becomes that energy. When you're psychic and the medium, it's only a part of it. It's working through you. As a full embodied channel, everything is coming through you. But one is no better than the other. They're just different. That's all they are.
Yeah.
They're just different.
You know, it's funny because I know Herbie Hancock, who's the most amazing person on the planet, by the way. He's a Buddhist. And I remember we were doing a Zoom call in the middle of COVID, and we're writing a book about Mary Magdalene. Oh, this is live stream, forgot. And we're not calling it channeled, by the way. And I wanted to get his take on how maybe more of a mainstream audience would think about it. And I asked him what he thought of channeling. And it was really interesting because he said, well, you know, we all have access to the universe. You know, what do you think I do when I go play my music, right? You know, but most people don't realize they have access to it. So I think that's kind of what Anthony's alluding to here, is that we are literally all alive antenna, and we're always sending signals out to the universe. But what do we want to bring into our field? If we bring it all in, it's not that useful, right? It's kind of like what we're dealing with on the internet. It's just information overload and it's not helpful. So we want to bring in what resonates with us, that aligns with us, and discard the rest. That's essentially, and how it really differs from a medium is that the medium is bringing through something that needs to be healed here on the physical plane. So the souls that, you know, you've heard like souls who haven't crossed over, our guides kind of don't see it quite that way, right? They say that's really the language that us humans use. There's really no crossing over because we're here always. They're here always, but we're also in other dimensions always.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they explain it.
So you see a physical manifestation right now, my head is moving because I can feel the energy. If you start feeling this as well, if your body starts shaking a little bit, there's a kundalini going on, you're starting to feel the energy in the room. So these are things that I want you to understand, that when you start doing it, you'll start feeling things like this. And you're not going crazy. It's just happening.
And you want to ask, like sometimes, you know, people will ask, well, you know, how do I know if I'm working with the highest and the best? How do I know what's coming through? Is it safe? Right? And these are really good questions because you want to have discernment. Ask.
You were going to ask a question.
Yeah, ask who's coming in and why.
Oh, are we asking questions while you guys are channeling?
You can, yes.
Or are we just listening to like the teachings from that?
No, I as you know,
He's starting to go in.
as
right
I'm
now.
Okay.
I'm a speech and language pathologist by profession also, and I love participating. I want all of you to participate and ask questions and see what happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What do you do for protection?
Oh, well, that's a good question too. You want to know something? I intend it. I know that I already am. I am who I am. Remember that. You are connected directly to source.
And you
That's-
don't want to work with the stuff in between.
That's how you're protected. You're protected because you're always protected. Nothing's going to get into your auric field unless you allow
Unless
it.
you allow it. Yeah.
Okay.
So just intend that you're working with the divine love energy, right? Love. You're working with.
But I still say my morning prayers. I have a morning practice. I will keep that intention all the time, that I'm always connected directly to God, to source. It's always there.
Yeah.
And that's your protection. Okay. Amen to that. Question?
When you use the word guides, are you talking about spirit guides? Are you talking about angels or outside the realm? Or are you also including human guides in that?
Mostly outside
Okay.
this realm.
The beings that come through us, remember, everything is spirit.
Right.
We're spirit. What comes through us is they once were human beings. They were called Pushim or Perushim. They were Pharisees. Everything that comes through me is Jewish.
Not everything.
Not everything, mostly though. So,
Which is a little confusing for us at times.
are they angels? Some are.
Got it.
Are some aliens? Yeah, some will come through as aliens. Yeah.
And by the way, that channeling process is different. We don't have time to go into
Yeah.
that now, but during, from our Mount Shasta retreat on the final day, a lot of the galactic energies came through, largely because we were in Mount Shasta. But they tell us that they do not connect to our auric field, but to our DNA. You know, try that.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, okay? But I'm not 100% sure on anything.
We worked a lot with the angelic realm before Magdalene and Yeshua came through, because that's your prime source energy.
Yeah, that's primarily who I work with, are angelic energies
And seraphim, if anyone's heard of seraphim energies.
so, all right, I'm going to sit down so I can ground. So once I go into channel, yep, and here we go.
Do
Yes.
you need us to do anything?
No, nothing. Again, it's just a thought. It's an intention. I enjoy seeing everybody like this. But when I go, it's an expanded state of awareness, of consciousness. That's all it is. And you all can do this if you want to. There's no magic. It's really happening,
Yeah.
but it's not magic. Okay? All right. Usually I like to take somebody's hand, so I'm gonna take my partner's hand.
That's another way to ground.
I slow my breath. I think of God. I think of love. I can feel it. It's beautiful. And it's full of love. And I want you to know that.
If any of you heard the clicking sounds, that's when the frequency match shifts. And they're coming into his field.
Good. We are here. It is good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
1 second, please.
When they say 1 second, they're just adjusting the frequency so the connection is stronger. Tighter, yes. And they're also seeing who's in the proverbial room.
We are who we are. It is good to see you again.
Yeah.
We are you. We are not different than you. We are the same. We are simply in spirit form. That is all. We manifest ourselves this way because we can, because you allow us to. We are here to give you messages of hope, of courage, of love and strength, so that you can go on your journeys and manifest your spirit through you like this, if you choose. If you choose. There is no magic except you and you and you. You are all magic. You are all love. and you are loved, and you are special, and you are unique. Breathe. And relax. I am Yeshua. I am here. Don't be afraid. It is good to see you. It is good to see you, Gaia, again.
Thanks for coming through.
Miriam will come as well. Have you questions for me?
So it's Yeshua right now. It's a very, very gentle energy, opposite of the Magdalene energy, which is more like a tornado.
Are you in love? You,
Am I in love?
yes,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Are you in love with her?
Yeah.
Does she know that?
Hope so.
Aw.
You know that?
I know.
Good. That is good. Why do you cry?
I just feel energy moving through her body and moving through blockages or bumping into blockages.
Okay. My energy is soft. It is gentle. It cannot harm you. Only love is here. How are you, soul? You.
Great.
I am not one for talking now, but I'm here to give you my energies. May I move, Gaia, a bit? And the camera. Is it okay?
Sorry, Tangela. You know Yeshua always wants to move around the room.
May I just touch?
You can, you can.
It is good to see you again, soul. It is good to see you again, soul. I see you. I feel you. I am with you.
There might be some recognition. So part of when Yeshua comes through is really connecting with you at a soul level. Feeling your frequency, can read, into your Akash, and because our Akash is available for them to see, and they can see connections sometimes. I say they because it's Yeshua and the Ascended Masters.
You. Who are you? Do I know you?
Michelle.
Mm.
I know you. I know your frequency. It's quite old.
Hmm.
If you mind, may I continue?
Is everyone good with this? This is,
It is good
Yeshua likes
see
to
you.
connect.
It is good to see you. It is one thing to talk, but another just to touch.
Again,
Human.
to be human again.
I like your crown. Be still.
Can't really do anything there, just leave it.
Estás sudando. ¿Por qué? Tiene mucha energía también. Está bien. Sí, amable. Sí. ¿Y usted? ¿Cómo estás? Strong. Strong. Good. Very nice. Beautiful.
Got your energy there.
A nice team. Feminine and masculine, I think, working together. Beautiful. There are many things that I can say to all of you. A child. I know you, so I know your energy well.
So often when he's nodding like that, he's in the Akashic records, just taking up information.
You have had your energy in one of my brothers, you know, a great deal of it. You were once called apostle, disciple. But that's something for another time. You understand? It's good to see you. Miriam of Magdalene is coming now. You have your hands open. And for this, I am open with you as well. Peace be with you. Good. Let's go back in front. It is not my job now to be up here and to preach. Those are the other days, the days that are in the past. It is my job now to tell you who you are in this life. You are ready. All of you are ready. It is always here. It has always been here. The temple, the church, the ashram, the mosque, the synagogue, whatever you want to call it, it's inside of you. It never leaves you.
Does anyone have any questions?
I see you, Jeff.
So quiet. Yes.
Where am I on my path?
That is a question for another time, sir.
That's very vague. That's pretty wide. The thing that I've learned with the guides and Yeshua included, it's better to be more specific and then, but not be glued to the outcome or the answer.
Young lady, you have a question.
The first time I ever heard a voice come to me, that I don't know if it was a channel, but I heard after clearing and meditation, I heard I am a daughter of Thoth. And I'd love to hear anything about that you have to share that could help me on my path.
We love that energy, by the way. It was one of the early guides that came to us.
Daughter of Thoth. Thoth. Taught. Tolt.
Thoth is actually how I heard it.
Yes. What is it that you'd like to
It's a
hear?
great energy to work with.
Where is it taking you? Where is it leading you?
Atlantis.
And what will you do when you get there?
Learn from my mistakes so that I can offer what I need to offer right now. And I think that's,
Mistakes.
yeah,
Mhm. I don't like mistakes.
they happen.
I see you doing much more things of beauty, things that help others. Those are not mistakes. Those are things of love and gratitude. That is what I see. You use your higher self and your soul for you. Let it come to you. Let the beings come to you. Use them and then move on. But in truth, become you in this lifetime.
Your higher self, you. So the Thoth energy is coming through to steer you on a path, and his energy is all about writing and art and creativity. So that's the area in the section,
How do I focus it? Because I have a lot of paths in that direction.
I know I can see that. Ask for the clarity. Work with that energy.
Miriam is coming now.
Okay. It's a great energy to work with.
I am only one being with whom you can work and focus your energies. I am only one path. But you decide on the path. You decide on the energies with which you desire to work. My other half comes now. She is much different than I am.
Very strong. She's like Martin Luther King on steroids. Yeah.
It is always an honor and privilege to be in the presence of love and souls such as yourselves that are receptive to hear messages of God and love. Peace be with you. It is good seeing you.
One other note about Thoth, in our podcast, we do a lot with science and spirituality. And next week interview is with Dr. Jude Curvin, who's an incredible, internationally known, works with the UN cosmologist. And in her book, she acknowledges Thoth. And in her acknowledgments. I mean, how is that for incredible advancement of, an international cosmologist who works with Thoth? Just love that. Anyway, it comes up in the interview, so. Blue Soul Chats, and it's free.
One, good, I'm here. I am Marin of Magdalene. It is good to see all of you again, especially the women. He knows you because I know you.
What's the connection?
She was one of mine, that one back there.
Oh, okay. As well,
Yes,
okay.
I know her energy. and I know it well. And I recognize you as one of my sisters. Do you understand? Good.
So, do you want to explain a little bit about the multidimensional soul so it's a little bit less confusing?
Multidimensional soul.
Well, because Yeshua had said that it was the Paul apostle energy. So how the soul works.
He did not say Apostle Paul. He said apostle.
Oh, so female apostle.
He
But
didn't
also-
say which one, did he?
But also said brother.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that multiplicity?
So the soul has the capacity to enter into many different lifetimes simultaneously, all at the same time.
That's the confusing bit. So when you feel like you have a connection to someone and also someone else, chances are parts of your soul were in their auric field during that lifetime.
That is correct. Do you have questions for me? Because I can continue talking. I am not like Yeshua. Yes.
I've been here before.
Say that again.
I've been here before.
That's a good one. I will tell you this, soul. You're always here. You never go away. Do you understand?
Do you mean in this earth dimension?
I know what you mean.
That's what he means.
He wants to know if he is something out of this galaxy, something like that.
Yeah.
That's what he means. Do you think you are? Do you believe it?
I know it,
Why?
because I contacted them and they contacted me.
Okay.
And it's not community.
What are you going to do with that now?
Still lost,
Okay.
because I'm still physically here until this is gone.
Okay.
It's physical.
Did they say why you were here? What are you here to do in this earth plane at this time?
Just get in between to judge.
Now, you have to become grounded.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? That is not an easy task. If you have beings coming to you and telling you something that you don't understand, you must become grounded, all of you. This is not an easy task. You don't have to accept it. However, I say, receive the energy. Whoever these beings are they of love? Are they of source? Are they of God? Are they of Christos energies? Good. Know these beings well. Ground yourself. You're a very strong male energy in this lifetime. It is true, soul. You're having an experience of being something outside of this galaxy, outside of this universe. But don't be so distraught. Don't be discouraged. There are many here that can assist you. Be grounded. Find community.
Find community, yeah.
And you will find yourself. I am Miriam of Magdalene, and these are my messages I give to you. I am here to support women in their rising. You too, soul, can support women as well. And when you do that, you will ground yourself into Gaia. But I am here primarily for the woman. That is why I have come, to manifest myself through her, Renee, and through Anthony. Yes,
I have a question.
go.
In Barcelona, they have the Black Mother, and I was feeling a lot of different energies around her, and I was curious if you had any insight on that.
Tell me about the Black Mother.
It's
The Black Madonna?
The Black Madonna. She was found in a cave, and then since then there's been a lot of battle over her and all these different theories and things said about her, and I feel this connection to that story that I'm trying to understand,
Okay,
and if her healing, if she needs healing and how.
it is not she who needs healing, it's you. You need healing. That is what you're feeling, okay? I say this to you. Know me again, soul. My sister, disciple. Know me again, and you will know yourself, and you will understand who you are in this lifetime. Call upon me, and I will come to you. Focus your energies upon me, and I will come to you. I am Miriam of Magdal, and you were one of my sisters. Your energy was in one of the sisters that manifested herself as a human being at one time. You are here again, and I see you. I recognize your frequencies. Do you understand? I know sometimes it's difficult. It doesn't make sense.
So she was sent there for healing for herself through that energy.
Yes, that is correct. Good. You with the hat. How are you?
Happy, excited, curious.
Good. That's good. Any more questions for me? Yes,
What is the most powerful healing source on earth?
you. You are the most powerful healing source on earth. All of you are. You just don't know it. But I am here to tell you that's what it is. It's always been that way, and it shall always be that way. You are the number one healing source on this planet. And when you come together, you become even more powerful. Stay in community with each other. You're not crazy. You're well, all of you.
So one of the things you can also speak to of how Yeshua healed, right, 2,000 years ago, if the soul wasn't doing the healing work and receiving the healing work, then the healing didn't occur. So it had to happen like frequency match to frequency match. And that's why you have these spontaneous, stage 4 cancer reversals and healing in some people, and in some cases you don't. Do you want to speak to
You
that?
just said it, didn't you, Kaya?
Did, but I thought you might want to.
So Yeshua didn't heal. He simply called the soul and asked the soul, get up, heal yourself.
Yeah.
Heal
And the
yourself.
soul can choose to listen to that call or not.
But each soul has its own journey. Young lady,
What are some practices that I can stay connected with you and receive your healing?
read books about me. Join communities with me in it.
Join our Magdalene Sisters group.
I've read a few and I love you.
Have a picture of me by your bed. It is good seeing you again.
Stay in her frequency is what she's trying to say. Yeah.
Stay in my frequency and I will stay in yours. Once you open the door to me, though, I do not leave.
This
You
is
understand.
True. This is true.
And I will be a force to be reckoned with, so that you are a force to be reckoned with others. Heal yourself and you will heal others. Heal others and you heal yourself. That's how it works.
And ask specifically how you want her to work with you. So she works through my hands, right? The book that we have coming out in September, Magdalene's Journey, is the story of her life. And she literally works through me. Like I feel something just take over. Some of it's channeled, even though we're not calling it channeled, but all the other stuff, that's how she works with me.
Shalom.
So the more specific you can be, the
Aleichem.
easier it is for her.
So, how are you?
Good.
You have a question?
I
Speak.
got another chance at life
Yes.
and I've done many things in the past. And I kind of feel I've completed that part of that other life. And now I'm truly been given another chance. And I used to do readings and spiritual work, but that subsided. And I'm just wondering if I should bring that back, or where do I go? Because I have a new path and I was shown just the path. Going the
Okay.
opposite way of where I've been.
Then let me be your path.
Will we get along?
Wonderfully.
Sometimes.
Call upon me
I argue with her all the time.
Okay.
and I will be with you. I am here for women, especially the women. Take good care of her soul. Good. Yes, continue to do the work. Continue. It doesn't have to be your entire life.
Well, toward the end of that,
No, you're not.
oh, good. Get more time.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You have no idea how much time you all have.
If you choose.
When you decide to step out of this vibration, you simply just cross a door and you go into another one.
I saw that.
That's all it is. I believe it's time to go. Yes. It is always good to be with all of
Do you
you.
want to stay? Yeah.
No, not now.
Okay.
I will let Anthony be Anthony.
All right. You don't want to see what the show floor looks like?
I will see it. Peace be with all of you. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for joining us. And I guess, he's gonna, Magdalene's gonna step back, but we'd love to stay in touch with you. We have a table out here right as you walk in. It's the first table, Blue Soul Earth. And as you mentioned, we are doing a retreat to Ashland, Oregon, and there's 5 spots left to join us. It's 4 days from July 25th through the 28th. We'll be going to Crater Lake and Hot Springs and doing a darshan and be super excited. So if you have questions on that, just see us and we can get you more info. And we have 2 membership programs. One is with Magdalene, and we meet twice a month. And it's $22 a month, so it's like less than a glass of wine in Marin. Sorry, it's just like when did Chardonnay become $28 a glass? Anyway, that's Magdalene's Sisters, and that's online twice a month. And then Blue Soul Ignite is primarily the Yeshua energy. And Lindsay and Jeff are part of both of those programs. So,
Yes, they are.
well, actually, Jeff's not part of Magdalene's Sisters because that's women only. But anyway, yeah, we just would love to stay in touch, and we're at bluesoulearth.com, and Blue Soul Chats is our podcast. So
Thank you for being here.
yeah, thanks for coming.